Through the years, I've made a lot of Lego armies, most of which have been medieval and fantasy, but I do have one Star Wars clone army. And today, that is going to change to two clone armies. I just so happened to be browsing Walmart.com and I found the Ahsoka Clone Trooper battle packs on a huge discount. So much so that I was able to pick a whole bunch up for the same price that I've normally bought an army of like 10 soldiers for. A year or two ago, I bought this Lego set with Ahsoka and some battle droids because I knew I wanted to make an army of clone troopers, but I also knew that they were going to need an opposing force. Having all of these battle packs has finally inspired me to actually craft the droid army, the measly 2 droid army. Once I had that built, I went ahead and started crafting a ton of minifigures. I like how all the Ahsoka clone troopers also have orange painting on their helmets to just match with the skin tone of Ahsoka. It's just, everything looks so coherent. I love it. While I've been building these, it feels like the helmets for these clone troopers don't stick on quite as well as any other minifigures I've had before. So it got me kind of questioning, did I somehow get a ripoff that these are just fake Lego? But upon all my close inspections, they look legit. So I wonder if Lego is just lacking their quality control right now, which I really would hate. Because I get Lego because they have the best quality. But who knows, maybe that is diminishing. 2 of my clone trooper squads have 3 guys with jetpacks and then 3 foot soldiers with 1 commander. And then I ended up having a lot more jetpack guys that I've put together a whole jetpack team and then leaving enough for a full foot team. I think that would be a good idea to have a little bit of a mix-up inside this army. Now, I don't normally like it when all of the minifigures match perfectly. So I threw a little bit of variety, mixing up who has which guns. So we have a few sniper guys, and then we gave some of them their communication devices and their sun visors. At least I am just going to prove to you all, I'm not the biggest Star Wars nerd. I don't know what all the little details are on these guys, but I do know they look awesome. But one thing I noticed while building all these troopers is that they're slightly different than the one that came in the Battle Droid pack. And so the difference is there is not this fancy way to make all those attachments. He can't have any of the specialty items. Especially if you wanted to deck out your soldiers with some crowns or fire or anything cool like that. Beyond that, they are the exact same minifigure. Nothing different on their head, torso, or legs. So it's just a completely different helmet. By completely different, I mean they're missing those little holes. Anyways, now that we have our full army assembled, as I was saying earlier, I don't like them just being guys lined up on a base plate. So we got to do something to mix things up. But I do feel like they are at a good starting place because they are not just straight up guys lined up in a perfectly formation line where it looks almost artificial. Even though in some of those movie scenes, the clone troopers are in perfect formation. That's just not how we roll here. So our first step is to play with what we already got. Let these droids do their best. And it turns out when you only have 2 droids, they are no match for this huge army. So the droids have called in reinforcements. And now let's see how they fare. Hold on, clone troopers. Let's not do kamikaze mode. I guess what we're going to have to do is just build out a completely new diorama for these troopers to actually fight on. So the plan is we will use these 2 base plates and build up a whole bunch of terrain and make all the characters dynamic and actually in the middle of a battle. And we have a ton of rocks to use. Then I also have this avatar set that I've been wanting to incorporate into something, and I feel like this is going to be the perfect build that I'll be able to use all the pieces for. Overall, building went really well. I did a live stream for most of the build, and I had a bunch of people join. They thought it was looking awesome, and I am agreeing. This world turned out looking better than I was expecting, and it was pretty simple. We basically just put it on a mill's plate and build up a little bit of terrain and then throw some rock life and plant life in there, and then voila, we have this. It's starting to feel pretty full of minifigures, and I still have a few more to put on that I'm kind of scared it's going to overclutter it, and also I'm just foregoing this little piece of machinery. There's no way I can get that to fit in here. And this is the final representation of Ahsoka's army versus the droid army. And I'm loving how it all came together because we were able to throw a lot more dynamicness into this scene and make it just come to life. Now I do need a place to put this Lego build. So it means it is time to dismantle this old diorama of some Lego City adventurers off in the wildlands. And then I also have this Indiana Jones creation that I made. But it is okay to dismantle my old creations because that is the joy of Lego, is being able to repurpose all these bricks to create new wonderful creations. Thank you for joining me on building this Lego Ahsoka army. And I'm always doing Lego things, so make sure to subscribe so you can stick around and not miss that. And we also have some Lego building armies in the future. And then click this link to see another amazing Lego video. See you in that one.